Hello Lagos, UpYou Lagos. Greetings wonderful UpYou community. Welcome to another edition of your favorite female-centric program, UpYou with Ezinne. How you all doing? Yeah, how are you all doing? It's scale up season on here, and today we'll be looking at how to scale up a business, the advantages and disadvantages, if any, of scaling up, and much more. It's our hour on radio, and we're here to keep you company wherever you may be. So let's do this, my beautiful people. Finding self, finding purpose. My name is Ezinne Kufurekane, and I'm your host. So with me on the beat today is Toby, and the topic is Woman Scale Up. Who remembers our question from last week? So, how is my life scalable? Is my business scalable? How can I increase the UpYou moments in my life? And how can I replicate the UpYou moments in my life such that it can have a ripple effect on a very large scale at once? These are the questions we hope you'll be able to answer for yourself at the end of this season. So, who is ready to scale up? Scale up is a time of growth, a time to go up. I absolutely enjoy those talking elevators. I'm sure you all know what I'm talking about. You know, when you enter them, they say going up. Level 1, going up. Level 2, going up. That is exactly what scale up is. You know, a new bloom. A chance to do it right, do it better, and do it bigger. It's important to identify the right opportunities for growth, evaluate potential risk and rewards, and set clear goals for yourself and your organization. With the right strategy and resources, brands of all sizes can achieve significant growth and success through the scale-up process, be they personal brands or business brands. Dear woman, it is the season to be more and do more. Don't touch that dial.
Our guest today is Peggy OVAT. Peggy OVAT is a God-chasing woman who is blessed to experience life supporting women on many fronts. She has over 10 years working experience in the NGO and civil society space. She's graced with the gift of wise counsel, which she uses to provide support and help for women and girls through different seasons of their lives. She's the convener of the Glam and Fire Conference, aimed at inspiring and empowering women to be the best versions of themselves by understanding their identity in Christ. She's the lead chef and CEO of Peggy's Kitchen and Confectionery, an award-winning nutrition solution providing company in Lagos, Nigeria. She's a member of the Association of Professional Food Service Providers in Nigeria. She's happily married to Pastor Steve OVAT, and together they steward SOM, a non-denominational Christian community in Lagos, Nigeria. They're blessed with 3 lovely children.
Thank you. They steward SOMI, a non-denominational Christian community in Lekki, Lagos. Dear listeners, please join us to welcome the amazing Glam and Fire Peggy on the program today. Peggy, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Good morning, Lagos.
Morning.
Good morning, everybody.
You look amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you for agreeing to come to the program today.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, so let's run so that we can get everything out of you.
Okay.
Woo! What's your perspective and your understanding of the topic today, Woman Scale Up?
Woman, improve thyself. Even the Bible says, come up either. You can't be in one spot forever. That's my perspective.
Straight to the point. Succinct. Bim. She has hit the nail on the head. woman, improve thyself. Great. Let me quickly open the phone line because it looks like this is going to run off with us. So the number to call is 0913-6000-410, and the number to text is 0913-6000-430. Okay, so now the lines are open. Please call us and engage with us. So back to you now. The term woman scale up encompasses the power and potential of the woman to create successful businesses and drive economic growth. At the same time, it is also a call to action for women to access the resources, the financing, the training needed to start and grow their businesses, as well as for the government and institutions to support women-led entrepreneurship. Do you agree with me that all of this is involved in woman improve thyself?
Oh yes, I agree completely. I myself have been a beneficiary of these institutions that make resources available. I have also been a beneficiary of speaking to myself to, take advantage of the resources that are available. Governments also do a lot of things. I know there are some arrangements or some resources that the government also, provide for female entrepreneurs. And so, as a woman in business and you want to scale up, or even if you've not just started a business and you're having entrepreneurship dreams, part of scaling up is making a move towards accomplishing this dream. It will remain a dream as long as you remain asleep, as long as you don't act on it. So yes, I agree with that. And women also have to take advantage of the resources. They may not be so much, but they are out there. There are institutions, there are foundations, there are organizations that are bringing different programs together. Myself benefited from a program called the Next Economy Initiative. I had Peggy's Kitchen, just like something I was doing to just, sustain, because I wasn't getting paid employment when I relocated to Lagos. But in line with, trying to scale up and improve myself as well, I went online and I saw information about this program. It's sponsored by the Dutch government here in Lagos, and it's implemented by Faith Foundation. And so I went for this business training. While in the program, I got nuggets that propelled me to register my business, give it a structure, and, focus on, streamlining my finances as well. There was just so much to learn, and I didn't just gain the knowledge and sat on it or sit on it. I gained the knowledge and I worked with it. I ran with it. And so a little improvement here, a little action here. I registered my business with the CAC. I opened up a separate account, because before I was receiving payments on my personal account, which is a risk in business. If you're in business, please don't do that risk, And then I started, having the lingo for entrepreneurship. I know how to, interact with customers. I know how to audit myself. How did I interact with this customer the last time? Did it leave a good impression? Did it not? So these are the many things that come with, scaling up, not just only pursuing the angle of bringing in revenue. You also have to pursue the angle of building lasting relationship with clients and customers.
Alrighty, this is a masterclass. Thank you, Peggy, for everything you've said. What did you call the name of the program you benefited from?
It was the Next Economy program.
The Next Economy program. I want to say that out loud so that all the women out there will just Google it right now and try to get on it.
Yes.
Okay, so Peggy, I remember that the first time I met you, you were receiving an award.
Yes, at Wimby's.
Exactly. You were seated next to me, and you were wondering at me because you were looking at me and saying, "This woman is not Gen Z," but the way she's just going with her hands on her phone and reporting everything real time, like she's on Twitter. How is she doing it? And I just looked at you from out of the corner of my eye, and before I could even say anything, they called your name and you were getting an award.
Yes.
And I have slowly and quiet. That has been how many years now?
That was in 2019, so that's like
thereabouts, or 2018, more like, yeah. And I've slowly been following your growth, and I've seen what you've done with Peggy's Kitchen and Confectionery. Can you please just share a bit more about that business, how you took it from something you were doing to just keep busy while you sorted out yourself via the fact that you relocated to Lagos to becoming an award-winning, celebrated? You don't even call it. What's that? You say is innovative nutrition
company in Nigeria.
Bam! Tell us about it.
Okay, Peggy's Kitchen and Confectionery. It started like, I've always loved to cook. As long as there's anybody to eat, I'm ready to cook whatever. And I like experimenting with food, and so when I moved to Lagos, like I said, from the NGO space, and there was nothing in programs, because I'm a programs person on the field, and most of the program offices were not in Lagos, and so I just started doing the cooking, like, let me just cook for people. And then I was supporting, there was an office that had needed food. I was just supporting them. They were paying at the end of the month. It wasn't really profitable, and I was just doing that. But I kept thinking to myself, if you can't, like I always say, stagnant water is not good, it breeds mosquitoes and illnesses. You can't just start somewhere and remain in that place. Time will just come and pass you by. So I started thinking to myself, what can I do to make this make sense, until I encountered the next economy program, like I mentioned earlier. And then I learned entrepreneurship skills. It was like a mini crash course on business and everything. And so when I learned financial management, structuring your business, putting a face and a brand to your business and all of that, I registered, and then I started talking to people more about my business. And along the line, I was into food, and along the line, I remember I had issues with lactose intolerance, which had been disturbing me. But at that period, I think I had just given birth to my first child, and it had become worse. And I noticed my daughter too was having it. So I decided, what should I do? I've heard about tiger nut milk. I started producing tiger nut milk, organic, nice. And it was that product that I took to the next economy program. And I was selling the tiger nut milk in the program to colleagues, to, staffers and trainers and all of that. And then after some time, after the end of the next economy program, there's something they do where they call crowdfunding, and then where you get resources from your family and friends, and then they'll give you like a matching fund, which is like the first grant that I got. So from there, I'm like, okay, I can really do this. So I started putting more time into branding, into talking to people. I wasn't really big on talking to people about my business. I thought that if I just sat down there long enough, people would notice me. But I realized that that's a big mistake. You have to be out there. You have to put yourself out there for people to see you. And that product was what won me the Wimby's award.
That I saw you receive.
Yeah.
So again, another big nugget here. Two big nuggets that I pick out from here. Stagnant water
breeds mosquitoes and causes illness.
It doesn't do anything. If the water is stagnant, you must stir it all the time and keep it flowing.
Keep it fresh,
And then the second one you said was, if you do nothing, you gain nothing.
Yes.
A closed mouth is a closed destiny.
Yes.
So you can't have a beautiful product and close your mouth about it. Well done, well done. I must say I'm proud of what you are doing. Okay, so in your own opinion, a woman should not be stagnant.
Yes.
A woman should try to do something. So tell me, why should a woman scale up on herself, spiritually, physically, socially, anyhowly, and otherwise?
Okay, so the truth is, the day we stop growing is the day we start dying. I mean, it's common saying on the streets. So, like I said before, you can't just start somewhere and remain there. A woman has to scale up on all fronts, because life is not stagnant. Like you said the other day at the Wimby's conference, you were, working on it. I'm like, oh wow, you need to be able to catch up with the trends and the time in which we live. You cannot say, because this is how it's been done 20 or 50 years ago, we have to remain like that. We have to maintain the status quo because it's comfortable for you. Change is usually very painful, especially when you're changing from, known to unknown.
Analog to digital.
Yes. So it's scary, but if you're able to catch up, then you'd see that you are able to maximize potentials. The way they moved back then, I think they started with horses and camels, and then they discovered bicycles, motorcycles, cars, airplanes, and now we even have ships that will take months to bring in a whole lot of stuff. We have to constantly evolve because time is always evolving. Physically, the way what was trendy 5 years ago to wear is not what is really trendy now. So even if you want to dress comfortably within the trend, you can find yourself in the spectrum and dress to be comfortable while you are still within the trend. Like if you wear all those high-heeled akbolas that are like 6 inches tall these days and you're not going for a Nollywood event, you probably look out of place, right? But there's still some comfy sandals that you will wear and you will look really good and comfortable.
We're all doing the sneaker thing right now.
Exactly. So spiritually as well, Bible says you should. I would rather that you are hot or cold. If you're lukewarm, I'll spew you out. You need to take charge of yourself spiritually. The things that you knew back then, there's so many religious myths that had held women down, held them in different. We don't want to start talking about violence against women and all of that. There's so many religious myths that have sponsored the negative turnout in the lives of women. You need to be able to hear God for yourself, find out what is true, take it and discard what is not true, because times are evolving.
Good. I like that word you've used, evolution, evolving. We, of course, it's still going back to what you said in the beginning. We can't be stagnant. We must continue to grow.
Yes.
Now, Toby, to you. Your story is quite similar to hers. I can see that you're just smiling.
I've just been smiling.
Okay, so what do you... let me ask you a question, So, apparently, you believe there are advantages to scaling up.
Yes, there are.
And then you also believe that one should go out there and look for what they need, because you have become a professional grant writer. Tell us about it.
Okay, so at the start of my entrepreneurship journey, just like Peggy, it was just from an idea. May not be like say we don't get what they do, right? And it evolved to attending programs that really kind of shaped our minds and see the possibilities of what we could become at the end of the day. And so and those things require that you put in applications, right? So on your devices you see grants writing and all that. So that was how I was able to continuously put in applications. And today I'm a professional grant writer based on my own story and my own experiences and all.
I like the way this girl toots her horn. If you don't toot your horn, nobody will know that you are there.
Exactly.
Women, I'm so proud of both of you today in the studio. Okay, so now I'm gonna just drill a little bit down, So in all of this, all I've heard is how you did, and how you got funding from friends and family, and how the organization was able to match it, and how Toby spent quality time checking for grants on her handheld device or any other device, and then she kept applying. But where is the place of government, the place of providing an enabling environment, to encourage women entrepreneurs to scale up on their journeys? Do you think the government has a role to play?
Of course, everything that has to do with life and society, the government is like the backbone. They provide the skeleton upon which every other thing will be built. And so, again, I refer to scripture. If the foundation be destroyed, what shall the righteous do? Government has to, provide that environment, enabling environment, and in form of what? Policies, people always say low interest rate loans. I always say accessible, very accessible loans, and not just low interest. Sometimes the other terms and conditions will, swallow up the low interest. Women, because of the way society is constructed, women tend to move towards their responsibilities and roles at home, and then it's kind of like drags the balance with her on her business and entrepreneurship journey. For example, I know a woman who got a loan and she used the money to feed her husband and her children because it's her role and responsibility to provide food for the family. But now she's stuck in debt. She didn't do any business, you see. So when the government is able to provide these enabling infrastructures as well, I was just thinking about it on my way here, and I was like, imagine how much more women will become productive if they had access to free or affordable daycare systems. So many women are afraid of delving into entrepreneurship because they don't know who will help them to hold their babies. I was in that position at one point in time. I mean, I have a strong family support system, my mother-in-law and everything. But some women don't. Many women don't. They have ideas. They have the zeal to run towards it. But because the society has told you, woman, you must nurture your child, and you do not have any strong alternative. For example, you are doing a business that is bringing you like 20,000 naira per month. The daycare, the most affordable daycare that you have, is probably 40,000 naira per month. It's going to be detrimental. So many women have been limited by just that infrastructure. So if government, for example, makes in every local government in a state, for example, there is a government well taking care of daycare where the woman would be able to leave her child for some hours to run a business, this would improve productivity in the side of the woman and definitely contribute to the growth of economy. So government has a very big role to play in all of this.
Thank you. The phone lines are still open. The number to call is 0913 6000 410, and the number to text is 0913 6000 430. Women, please call us. Men also call in, and let's engage this brilliant mind that is talking to us today. Peggy.
Yes, please.
You on one breath you talked about evolution. Mm-hmm. On another, you're talking now that we don't have reputable, quote and unquote, child care facilities.
Affordable ones.
Yes, where we can leave our children.
Yes.
You see, that's one of the fallout of evolution, because back in the days we could take our relatives from the village and stuff like that and tell them, please come and help us with the children and everything. Even now, some mother-in-laws are so young, they're still working and everything, so they can't even come and help you with any of that. So evolution on one hand is good, on the other hand,
so we must always find a way to strike a balance. So on the one hand, you don't have access, you don't have great family members coming from the villages and all of that, but on the other hand, now you have well-structured daycare systems that if the government would invest in, it will become subsidized and easily accessible. So it's not exactly, it's a win-win situation. So even as we are evolving, we would also take stock of the downsides and find a way to is it palliative care, or I don't know how to put that, but find a way to mitigate the downsides of the evolution in that regards.
Okay, great. In the food industry,
yes,
where you play, I like the way you describe your award-winning nutrition solution providing company.
Thank you.
All right. So, how easy is it to scale up, while maintaining standardization across board, vis-a-vis food preparation and delivery? And this is me just saying that your jollof rice, it tastes consistent.
Hallelujah.
So tell us, how is it happening?
Yes, so thank God. Everybody thank God with me that you cannot eat food online. You have to eat it. You have to eat it physically, and they cannot do it remote.
Right?
Yeah, so food business is always going to be here. But one thing that is very important is standards. You mentioned standardization, processing, preparing, and delivery. How do you scale up? There are so many. It's like it's even more than an octopus, because the food business has so many branches, so many. I mean, the confectionery, snacks, pastries. Then there's food. There are different cuisines. There's so. How to scale up is find your strengths, and remember, it's not finite. You can have a strength in doing cakes, for example. Nothing stops you from learning to add something to eat and improve. The bottom line factor of scaling up is improvement. So it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to just keep expanding, having branches everywhere and not producing good results. So in my own opinion, I think that scaling up can also mean closing a branch if it's not productive, so that the other branches can get enough nutrients to grow and become more productive. It's also a way of improving. So in the food business, there you can find your niche. You can say, I want to be served. You check around you. The way to be more productive is to find resources that are easily available to you, such that you are not doing something in Lagos and going to source for resources maybe in Kafanchan. Look within your environment. Look for customers within your reach. Look at your contacts. Look at your family. Look at your networks. Find out what will appeal to them. If you don't know how to do it already, learn how to do it. We live in the social media age where you can learn basically anything off YouTube with consistency. Do master classes, take courses online. You don't have to limit yourself somewhere. Learn it and then start. The more you practice, the better you become. So that's how easy it is to scale in the food business. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that, Peggy. As you were talking, I was saying to myself, oh wow, yes, scale up doesn't only mean
yes,
opening branches. You can actually stay in one branch and keep scaling up. Scale up means doing things better. Creating the effects more often, such that you have a rippling result. That's what she's said to us today. Okay, so I have a question for you from the platform here. Okay. This question is coming from Omotola, and Omotola sent this in from Ikorodu. Okay. Omotola said, how do you ensure keeping up the energy as an entrepreneur based on our current reality as Nigerians?
That one is a solid question. How do you keep up the energy? I'll be lying to you if I say you're not going to, face any challenge. In fact, we live, breathe, eat, and dine with challenges in Nigeria. But you must always remember why you started in the first place. You must always remember why you are doing this. That will drive the passion. In moments when you are low and you're feeling down, you must always remember who you are. And that drive from within would, bubble up. Whatever situation you face that may make you down in spirit, I do talking sessions on myself because I'm a Christian, and I always remind myself that my center, my focus, my source is Jesus. So anytime I'm feeling down, I remember who I am and whose I am, and then I speak to myself. I remind myself of why I started this business. I remind myself of why I have to do the things that I have to do, because I know that my destiny and my purpose is not for me alone. It is tied to, like you said, ripple effect. If I affect the life of one woman, that woman will go ahead to affect the life of another woman, and even our children will become beneficiaries of this. So you have that thought alone will keep your energy up. When you are down, you take the beating a little bit, but then you rise up again, knowing this truth.
When you're down, you drink tiger nut milk, and then you ginger yourself, and then you remind yourself your why.
Yes.
Your why.
Yes.
Your why must be strong enough to make you go all out there.
Yes.
Okay, I have another question here. This question is from Omotunde. I think Omotunde is a man's name. Okay, Omotunde sent in this question from Maryland here, and he says, if you had known what you know now as regards bringing people together to empower them, what would you have done differently from the start?
Okay, so when I started, I just, jumped in.
Oh, please hold it. We have a call. Good morning. Who is calling and where are you calling from?
Good morning. My name is Ada from Yaba.
Morning, Ada. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you.
This is UpyouwithEzinne. Would you like to contribute to our discussion?
Well, I just wanted to say that the conversation is great, and that women need to hear this more and more, so that you'll be able to scale up. As a woman, sometimes if we don't have the opportunity to hear other people. So things like this, if you keep doing it and people hear it more, it would get them to the place where they understand certain things, where they understand certain things, and they are able to it will encourage them to actually scale up. So well done. Well done.
Thank you very much, Ada. Thank you. We can see that you have your baby at work.
Yes. I just put it for me.
Hello,
thank
baby.
you.
Thank you very much. Thank you for calling us. Okay, so yeah, you want to say something to Ada?
Thank you, Ada. Thanks for your nice word. Also, just share the word to let's all do this together.
You know, Ada seems to be a case of what we're talking about. If we had good facilities,
yes.
But it's all good. It was
It's
nice
all
to hear the
good.
baby's
Yes,
voice. Eh?
definitely.
Women were all trying.
Yes.
So yeah, there was a question from watching the
knowing what I know now. So when I just started, the philanthropy gig, I've always known that I like to help people. But I always just jump in and help the way I think they need to be helped. But what is important is knowing how do they want to be helped.
There's a very big distinction there. Helping people and helping them in the way they want to be helped.
Because, for example, we just go to the IDP camps and we share food stuff and all of that. Because it's an IDP camp, you just generalize that everybody there. But these are displaced people. You don't know what life they are coming in from, right? You don't know if they really do not like those kind of food or stuff. So you have to know what people want to be able to help them. It becomes more effective. So that's what I know better. Instead of just bringing people differently and, putting them together and lumping them and thinking that that's the challenge, we have to first of all identify that their needs are similar, put them together, and then do the programs to suit their every need, considering that their assimilation level will also be different. Yes.
Interesting. Very interesting. We could do a whole talk on that. Yes. But time is not our friend, so we need to run. And I'm not going to let you run without asking you to tell us a bit about the Glam and Fire conference. Which you run. How did you start it and how has it been?
Okay, the Glam and Fire conference is something that bubbled up in my spirit when I was pregnant with my last child. I felt so ugly and so useless in quotes.
How can you ever?
Yes, but you didn't see me. Pregnancy is nobody's mate.
To humble you.
It will humble you. So I kept encouraging.
Toby is actually in agreement. Oh my God.
I actually just encouraged myself in the Lord because I speak with the Holy Spirit, and so I was hearing him tell me words like, you will be fine. So the words just bubbled, Glam and Fire, and that's how it came on. And then I started thinking about women who were in my condition. Some people are not only feeling that way because they are pregnant. Some people it's because a relationship went bad. It's because they lost someone. It's because a business went sour. It's because they lost money. And so many different things make women go down and feel the way they are not. So I discovered that the only way you can be rooted, and like I mentioned before, is knowing your identity. So that's what it's based on, helping women to understand their identity in Christ so that they are able to pursue after their destinies. It does not mean that because you hit a stumbling block in life, then you get stuck and you remain there. Instead, the stumbling block, you can put it together and it becomes a stepping stone to the next level.
You just keep rising.
Exactly. So that's what the Glam and Fire conference is about. Last year, we talked about made in His image, and we're so blessed to have you. And so this year, we're coming up again by the grace of God.
Oh, this is why you shouldn't be asking some questions of some people. Okay, so now we have actually had a conversation with a 3-in-1 person, a multiple personality, because while you were talking, I felt the person who spent 10 years on the field doing the NGO thingy, I felt that person come true. I felt the CEO and the chief chef of Peggy's Kitchen and Confectionery come true. I felt the mother and the wife come true. I felt the pastor's wife. Oh my God.
Hallelujah.
And they both had to shout. Okay. But most importantly, all of these disparate parts makes you a woman.
Yes, who I am.
A woman. So I have actually enjoyed having this conversation with you, and I would like you to close us out by giving us your parting words, and please cue it to encouraging other women who have been listening to scale up. It's important that they rise up, find their destinies, and begin to run with it, just like you've done.
Okay, so this is going to be a little bit long. Let me just run as much as I can, okay?
2 minutes.
Thank you. So, dear woman, first of all, you have to be emotionally stable to run with any vision. You cannot give what you do not have. So please learn to take care of yourself. Learn to manage your finances. Your finances is like your, go-to.
Your passport to everything that you want.
Yes. Have a connection with your, I don't know if Muslims or other religions are listening, but for me, I'm a Christian, so my core is in God, right? So find your core and be true to your core. And know that you will make mistakes in life, but you do not allow the mistakes to keep you down. You have to learn from the mistakes. You should find the silver lining in every situation. Do not play yourself to settle for less. I don't know which single lady is listening. Please do not say because of societal pressure or, those days peer pressure used to be from people we know, people we see. These days, because of social media, people that are living thousands of miles away are influencing people's lives negatively without them having any way to fight back. Please do not be pressured into settling, in marriage with someone who does not fit your destiny. Just know that you are cherished, you are loved, you are important, and you have everything within you to be all that you need to be, and use the resources that God has given you wisely. God bless you, dear woman. Thank you.
Do I still have a chance to say anything? Because she said everything. Those nuggets were on point. You need, and it keeps coming true every time. You must find your core. Irrespective of how you worship God, you must find your core. You must adhere to it, and then draw your strength from there to move on. Thank you, Peggy. It's been an absolutely amazing hour with you. Thank you for being so amazing.
Thank you so much for having me.
Toby, you want to say thank you?
Thank you, Peggy. Thank you so much. I enjoyed how you were able to wrap up all your gifts, basically, and just give us something really delicious.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, Toby had to go delicious because
rice,
she is
food,
chef.
Food.
Okay, so this is where we wrap up today's edition of Up You with Ezinne. It's been another amazing one, truly. So my take today is that scaling up is something everyone should be about. You should desire to live, improve your life. You should desire to go from point A to point B, and the only way to do that is by constantly improving on what you know. So this is where we wrap up today's edition. It's been amazing. Please follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and UpYou. Get copies of our books, UpYou and When Adversity Strikes, Fight. Thank you to everyone that is involved in creating this magic every week, starting with you, our dear listeners, our guests, our advertisers, our callers. I'm sorry we can't take any more calls. I can see the call line beeping, but we're done for today. You can send your messages to our Instagram and we will take it from there. The engineers on duty, my producer, the amazing UpYou team, 98.3 Mainland FM, the sound of Lagos. You all stay strong, stay blessed, and stay lifted. My name is Ezinne Kufre Kanem. Until next time, it's UpYou.
Is the